TGIF.
To GIF?
Yep, absolutely. Welcome to Barn Burner on your Friday, a presentation of Bet365, official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And us.
Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And, throughout the show, if you're so inclined, go down a little, some shekels or whatever you want to call it.
Cash for the kids.
You'll get your comment put on the program, and we will take the money and get it to the youth centers of Calgary. And, of course, it's also important to mention
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
And there it is. And there you are.
It is Friday.
And there it is.
I am waiting for this global sensation to catch fire with my coworkers. And
to all those who celebrate, happy Hawaiian Shirt Day.
Jack's
Not today.
He's just on the couch.
Just out. He is out of the closet. There he is. Rhett Warner.
Proud of you, Rhett.
Good to see you.
Living your true self.
Remember that few years back when I had the goat thing going on in January? It was like,
yeah. What ask how you doing?
Yeah.
That's how I feel today.
Really? Yeah. Do you want to bleat?
I want to bleat because I can't have the Edmonton Oilers doing amazing things, and I also can't have the loser Panthers soiling themselves.
Oh.
So what do I turn to in my time of need?
I would say alcohol, drugs, rock and roll.
Bleat. Yeah, like it's basically not my fault. Now, are you falling off the wagon? If you've been dry for a while, you're falling off the wagon, right? Or are you getting on the wagon?
If you fell off the wagon, what happened?
Then you've abandoned whatever it is that you started doing.
So if I stopped drinking, I fall off the wagon.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with you. I don't think there's any danger of that happening. Okay, so I've never really invested a lot of time.
Because I know when sober people start drinking again, that would be falling.
Because what do you think? What are you? So are you done with the Panthers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm kind of done with all of it.
Oh boy, guys.
I'm not finding any solace in these wonderful punch in the nose Florida Panthers. We play the right way. Panthers,
what it is?
Are really dropping the ball.
Fuck the Panthers.
Oh,
thank you, Dean. Because I was going to come out of the show like this.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
You're sticking your tongue out, big Oh, hey, look, we got you. Where's that today? Is that
Gadjevich do that?
We're doing a lot of that today. Hope they sold a lot of those shirts last night. Because you can take those and throw them in the dumpster.
Are you guys calling this?
Despicable.
Are you calling the fight?
Despicable. Worse than game 3 is what you got from the Panthers last night. Everyone crushed the Oilers for how atrocious they looked in their performance in game 3. Panthers, worse last night.
That is a more disheartening loss. I will not argue that.
You had a lead, a chance to go up 3-1. You're at home. Everyone's just rose petals. Everywhere you walk, this is the greatest. Look at this dynasty. What a joke.
He's quitting? You're quitting the Panthers?
It was a joke. They
done with the Panthers.
D-U-N.
Not sure if this is some sort of reverse psychology trick, Jack, or what.
No, I don't need to. They have these effing days in between. It goes on too long. No, I can't. There's Loserville in Alberta. You can't hide from it. You were at an event last night, Pinder. I'm sure it was joyous to see all those.
Sign this Oilers jersey for the birthday boy. Oh my God! Stop it.
So I'm not going to put up with that BS. And my old alma mater absolutely pissed themselves, and I'm done. Jovo can't go down and motivate him. Billy Lindsay's doing his best Billy Lindsay-in, and they're deciding to shit themselves.
So you didn't go down and talk to them after 20 minutes last night? Because that kind of looked like what happened.
Greatest coach in the world that can't shake hands. You got a cocky team.
Yeah.
Guys, you're not overreacting a little here?
No.
Can I try to sway
They have
you?
effed themselves in 3 games. The series could literally be over.
Correct. Yeah, the Kings could have won too. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't like that at all.
It's vibe of things. This is they. And what happened with the Kings? They didn't win.
So if I could just make
Don't-
one small point.
Good answers. Who are you kidding? All right, let's go. Let's hear. Fine.
After game one, you're like, friggin' team of destiny, tied up in the third, win it in overtime. God, blech.
Yeah,
Game
that was a 3-1 lead they had in blue in game one.
And you're just like, okay, well, the Oilers feel like a team of destiny. Game two, they tie it with how many seconds left? And you're like, okay, it's over. This is gross. I hate it. I need to change my name and move into witness protection and move to another country. Then Marchand does his thing, and you're like, okay, hang on. They just stole home ice. Then game three, the Panthers eviscerate them, and you're like, well, shit, this is the Panthers series to lose. And now that the Oilers have stolen home ice, we feel like it is, again, the Oilers series to lose. What if I just threw out there that this is still just a coin toss and we played 3 coin toss games out of 4? And 3
I'm not buying it. There's things that happen in a series that shouldn't happen, and the Panthers have allowed it to happen 3 times. The game they won, the other team didn't show up, and the goalie shit themselves. And actually, the team they're playing against plays better in front of the other guy because they don't think he's as good, so they don't trust him to make the saves. So they actually play better hockey.
I think you might be the better.
It's over.
It's over.
Done.
You know what happened last night? Sam Bennett lost the Conn Smythe Trophy.
He did for sure.
And the Florida Panthers lost the Stanley Cup.
There will be a parade and a mosh pit and a summer slam event because they're all going to brawl up there when they start walking that silver chalice down the street.
Oh,
someone tries to steal it.
It's a great word.
That is.
I think it's the right word too.
You
outshoot your opponent 17-7 in the first. You get a bunch of power plays. You're up 3-0.
They changed the goalie.
No shit. Then Calvin Pickard comes
finally
in,
put the guy in. They should have started.
where you would think, okay, well, let's pick away on this guy's bones for a little bit.
The guy that hasn't lost yet this postseason, those bones.
And in the match, I mean, it was tied by when did the puck calls in 15:05 of the second? Okay, well, that lead's gone. Well, dig in. There's no digging in.
They dug in the last minute there. That was impressive.
Yeah, that's great. No, they're done. That's you know what? If whatever you like in sport, you despise everything that you saw out of the Florida Panthers last night. If that was your team, if that was the team that you cheered for, you'd be so disgusted. And if you just take all of it away, how don't you look at what the Oilers did last night? Everyone just crushed them for 2 days for getting beat up, getting beat on the scoreboard, in the alley, bunch of wusses, all of this. How are they ever going to are they even going to show up for the game? Are they going to bother putting skates on?
We thought it would be
they
another
come out,
tight game.
get run out of the rink for the 4th period in a row, and then bounce back and win it to send things back home where they win Saturday to take a 3-2 lead.
I was just going to ask, who do you like on Saturday?
No question, regardless of what happened last.
So at Bet365, it'll be -500 for the Oilers.
Oilers will win at home. And then it's when do you want to win the next one? You want to do it in Florida, or do you want to get back for 7?
Well, I mean, look, at least you're consistent. This isn't really the glass half full Florida angle. It's a best of 3, and they've won in Edmonton already.
Can we look at the 4-3 Edmonton goal? I don't know what you've got.
The whiteboard?
Whatever, 9-time Selke, this, Barkov and Reinhart. Both of these guys nominated, right? These are the
top 2 Selke players.
So just before you play it, that is Reinhart, who is he's in downward dog, or he's doing
push-ups.
He's stretching his groins behind the net. 6:36 left, 3rd period. Chance to go up 3-1 in the series. Tie game.
On the play, he was horrendous. And not to say that there weren't other players that screwed up on that play, but you're not part of anything, and you're like a lost puppy. Just, I'm not sure. What are you doing?
Future Flame, Nico Mikkola.
Well, I hope he improves because he was
Well, I
love
shit.
that. He's gonna be a free agent in 27 or something.
I don't like this. Now I'm grumpy. Wallman goes by the bench. Oh, sorry, Wallman. You're a hero. Way to go.
He is a hero. He was very tough in game 3. He's
I can't wait till next year someone grabs him and kicks the F out of him because he's got some sort of cockiness to him for an 8th defenseman.
well, he's a tough work guy, but yeah, okay.
It's very cocky. If you could find a way to just be sitting there and watching and not have a rooting interest, how don't you look at what the Oilers did last night and say that's pretty fucking balls?
Never mind what the whole series has been.
No, stop. Don't
Try
they
and
did
sway it
last
off.
night.
Yes. Stay on topic.
They
I
got
am.
snot bubbled in the last game. Everyone quit. Oh, geez, how are you? Why even play this next game? You guys got embarrassed. You got beat up. You got run out of the rink. 2 days to sit and you know what they did? They went to the rink both days and they worked and they practiced and they showed up. And then last night, Skinner was fine in the first. He was making saves, but they take dumb penalties, a 5-on-3 goal, another power play goal, and then the final play. Can we show the 3-0 goal? This is probably the last time depending how it goes.
Well, he might be holding some hardware next
for
time.
Troy Stecher. This was the last shift of the hockey game. He tries to and then the puck goes
Tries
in.
to sell it afterwards.
He's like, oh, well, you didn't get hit in the mouth. You got hit in top of the head and you quit. And that was his last shift of the game. So that makes it 3-0. A full collapse. The building is electric. And they go to
Got
the
him
room
by the
and
balls, Dean.
they come back and start chipping away.
I actually knew they would.
The next power play is probably going to be
Within
against
the first
Florida.
3 minutes of the second period, the Oilers will get a power play. That was said on the couch just outside these walls.
We're getting. I just think, what do you say if you're not? Look, we're getting a power play. We score on that, it's 3-1. You get another one, and we're right there. We're right where we need to be. You know how it goes when we
They
pull
have
a
no
goalie.
fear about being down. I don't think it intimidated them at all.
No, they've done this before. They've erased 3-0 leads. I would think multiple times in this.
It's not
Post-
even it's like, oh, whatever. Skinner's let in a few, so I guess we'll have to score more tonight.
So, I mean, I understand why this is very grim, but if the Panthers get a bounce in overtime, how differently do you feel? Not at all. Very. I mean, it was another one bounce game if you just tuned in halfway through the second. And I get it. You can't just wipe away a 3-0 lead, but we literally sat here and said it's probably going to be another coin flip game.
It changes, obviously. 3-1 changes everything, but it doesn't change what you saw happen in that game last night.
Right.
The Panthers shit the bed.
Oilers did Oilers things.
You have a chance to go up 3-1 and take a stranglehold. And this is the team you're supposed to be. You're being lauded as this band of brothers and this, pack of dogs. Not last night. Not with essentially the cup on the line.
So you weren't impressed when they tied it in the final minute with
Not
an empty net
really.
behind them? You weren't impressed.
Not really,
That was
no.
not impressive.
No.
God, you're negative. That was very impressive.
Horseshit luck is what it was because they tried to make another play. It went off a leg and came back to Reinhardt.
Oh, just like the game winner in overtime where a one-handed shovel towards the net goes off a leg and in? Come on, there's luck both ways.
It's okay, Ryan.
No, I'm telling you,
okay.
the odds are still going to be like you can be emotional. The sports books are not. Edmonton will not be minus 500 on Saturday.
What are they?
They'll probably be minus 150.
Yes,
Oh, look.
they are going to be
which is
favored
what
at
Florida
home.
was last night, which is we still have a series. I can't believe you're writing them off.
It's
2-2. You got to get 4 wins. Florida has to win one game on Saturday, and everything you've
How
said
they
gets
played
flushed.
in Edmonton?
What's that?
How they
Edmonton
done
hasn't
in
had a lead
Edmonton?
in the third in Edmonton in this series.
How have they done in Edmonton?
Their goalie's been better, and
How have
they've
they
won
done in
1-2.
Edmonton?
They split.
And go back the year before.
They got one win in
Shit
Edmonton.
pumped. So like
They won.
They're done.
Look, I understand the emotion of it. I just think that the people that aren't emotionally attached to this series don't think it's over.
good for them. They're probably not paying attention. They're numbers nerds that can't watch
No, I mean, like if you talk to the people that are covering this series that aren't numbers nerds that are in the building watching, they're like, shit, we've got a classic Stanley Cup final for the ages.
But it's only a classic because the Florida Panthers on 2 out of 4 games have shit the bed.
I mean, the Oilers have done this in every series. You expected they wouldn't be able to have a comeback or two in the final? No. That's what makes them special, right? Well, you don't think Bobrovsky can outplay Pickard in the next 3 games?
So you're proving the point is that they're too good to be stopped.
They're not too good to be stopped. They won 2 out of 4 games against Florida.
Florida can't stop them, even with a 3-0 lead.
They blew a 3-0 lead
and a 3-1 lead.
Doesn't mean the series is over. Just like Florida winning by 5 doesn't mean the series is over.
Hey, good for you. I'm glad you can hang your hat on the positivity that the Florida Panthers are giving you.
I think I'm being pretty neutral down the middle.
You're also full of shit, and everyone can read right through you right now.
If you weren't in Florida, Edmonton, or Calgary, I think you think this is a series still. Am I crazy?
Yeah. I don't know.
You guys are at the funeral here, and they've got 2 wins. You need 4 for the cup.
Well, feel free to throw some pizzas
Edmonton,
on the line.
As much as it kills me, is a very, very good team.
Like, I know you think you're being neutral, but you're not.
So the sports books are neutral. You think Edmonton are hugely favored. I can look it up right now.
I think they're
Why do you allow yourself
in the cup?
Why do you allow yourself? So your opinion is the strongest of everyone ever at any time when you want it to be your opinion, but it's not your opinion now. It's the sports books, and you're just following.
No, what I'm saying is we're emotional. The books aren't.
Right.
Hey, like, I don't care what the books say.
I know you don't care, but
like, I don't
that
care.
would be the unemotional.
Is that how? That's just how we're going. We
I'm
live
not
life
asking
as
you
well.
to care.
Oh, who's favored?
Well, I will pull it up. I'm expecting the Oilers to be like around -120 or.
How do I feel? Well, let me check my sports booking, my sports app.
We can all talk about how we feel, but it is important to remove the whole "I'm emotional."
No, it's not. It's not important at all because no one tunes in.
To hear that Stecher, so we're doing okay.
Oh, that was quite a display. It was quite a display.
It was great, and they're a very, very, very good team. I hate them, but they're very good. We know that they have the ability to like turn a game on a coin and erase 3-4 goal leads. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And on the other side, you have a team that can take a punch better than anyone. They got outplayed for pretty large swaths in games 1 and 2, and still never trailed in the third and split in the toughest building in the league.
I totally disagree with you on this take a punch bullshit. When have they taken punches?
Games
when
1 and 2.
When they took punches, they got punched by Vegas, and then Vegas knocked them the F out with the punch. Last year, they didn't take any punches. They were punching. I know.
So they played. When did they play Vegas?
3 years ago in the final.
That was Tampa. No, you're right. Okay. So 3 years ago. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not really.
Well, exactly. Try and pay attention and not just allow your opinion to be the only one that matters.
I'm trying to make sense of your argument here. I'm talking about Florida being a team that's taken a punch this year in the playoffs, and you're talking about something that happened 3 years ago.
They're not good at taking punches. They're good at punching. Who's punched them in the mouth? Carolina didn't. The Rangers didn't. The Leafs give them a bit of a scare, but was anyone really scared? No.
I mean, at the time we were, but we're protecting
shit out of Tampa Bay 2 years in a row. Who has punched them in the mouth and made them play with fear over the last 3 years? Boston.
In game 1 and 2, and they got the split.
So that makes
Toronto up 2-0 in a series. We were. You can go watch the shows. You were saying they were done. Like, come on.
I never said the Panthers were
done.
No,
but you think they looked like they were in big trouble.
I thought Toronto was playing well. So you're saying this is just if anyone's taken a punch and come back, it's the Oilers. The Panthers are not taking punches and having to come back. They're going in and they're punching people in the face and taking over series. They are not good at taking a punch.
It's the Oilers who got off the mat here.
Correct. Yes. And but to suggest that Florida's not resilient would be discrediting a team. The Panthers are even money to win the cup. The Oilers are -120. This is almost a coin toss by the book.
Again, I don't care.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not asking you to care.
My opinion, and having watched sports for many years, this just has all the earmarks to me of a collapse by the Panthers. after what you saw last night.
They look
You had a
slower,
prime
they look
opportunity to go up 3-1, which basically gift wraps the whole thing for you. You had a 3-0 lead at home where you shut down that you beat these guys up last game. But it's the other team that grabbed themselves by the sack and gave it a twist and came back and chipped away at a lead, then got a lead, had it evaporate, and then still had the balls to win it in overtime. That's
No one's disputing any of that. That was an incredible, impressive comeback.
It's gutsy stuff, man.
Yes.
And we can, take all of it away. If you had no allegiance, you'd be like, those fucking guys. That was pretty impressive.
Yes.
I mean, and I just sat there last night. I was like, you tip your cap. Draisaitl, another overtime winner. And McDavid has yet to have a McDavid game. He's been around it.
Yeah.
He hasn't dominated.
He's got his 1 or 2 golden chances a game. Bob got him on the breakaway last night.
The whole thing, to just kind of take a bit of a step back, it's been a hell of a series.
That's all I'm trying
you
to
go you go through game 3, and obviously, but there was entertainment value to that. I put together just kind of the chances, because if Bennett scores, it doesn't go in. It's a 3-1 lead. That changes things, but it still doesn't take away from the Panthers. And I just don't know, for a team that is so respected for being.
I know, and the series is over, so it's all
This
just
is
formalities.
crazy.
But yeah,
Off the skate, post.
wild.
Then he gets a stick on it, toe save. And then this one here.
This is just Bennett. There's your Conn Smythe right fucking there. How does he stop this?
He gets a piece.
Oh my God.
Like the top of the cheater of the glove.
And then the post.
And then the post.
Could have made these boys happy, Sam.
baby spins on the ice.
Kicking it in his net.
What in the F?
Yeah, can we whiteboard this, Jack?
We do have the we have the
70s?
overtime. Go to the actual goal from the broadcast angle. It was truly a game for the ages.
Yes.
And if you're an Oiler fan, you're talking about this game for the rest of your bloody life.
As long as you close this thing up, yeah.
Well, Flames fans didn't close it in 04, and they still talk about
I don't talk about
the
any
shift.
game.
Just go to the start and just stop it. There's little things here. It's Ekholm who moves it quick to Podkolzin, who one touches it, and then Perry leaves it.
He knows damn well it's going to Draisaitl. That's why
honestly,
he's ahead. He's a play ahead. But where are the Panthers?
I don't like that it's almost a 2-on-1 on the zone entry, right?
Yeah, from a far
It's a pass from their own zone, and somehow they get almost a 2-on-1 immediately.
Yeah, it's that one touch by Podkolzin, which
but it's still Dean.
I know, but
great. It's a one-touch pass. You're telling me you can't react or play
after being obviously the star of games, 2 and 3 with Sam Bennett. But
boy, and I'll tell you, Tkachuk is close to being done. I know he scores 2 goals, but one's 5
hat trick look.
There were a couple, and I was saying, man, if you had the game that you could grab that, if you're doing intermissions or something, there's a couple times where you could see where he's almost grimacing, he's kind of tightening up just on plays where he's just by himself, looking to kind of make a play. He's in a bad.
He won't hold the puck. He moves it immediately. He's doing that to get it into people's possession that can skate. And I feel like if he gets hit with the puck, he's hurting.
The 3-1 goal, Nugent Hopkins is on the power play. Bob is down, and Hopkins puts it up top. I guess he's trying to kind of protect that, maybe the backdoor tap in or whatever. I know this is painful exercise for Flames fans, but just to go through the comeback, we can take a look at it for the Warner Rhett's whiteboard corner. Yeah.
Something like that.
So again, you go to the room. Corey Perry rips them a new one. Apparently, you get the power play. Do you want full screen there, Rhett?
Yeah, isn't it right there?
Well, and Reinhardt has no idea. Can you start it again? Just watch Reinhardt. I know he scores that goal to tie it, and he had a couple of assists.
They're out to lunch defensively. They're not committed because that's why it's hard to win a whole bunch. This is 3 years in a row in June. They're playing hockey.
Yeah. So there's 13.
It's soft.
Early in the power play.
He's never looked
Look how
No,
close he's touching his
Stan.
power play.
Bob
But
does lose his feet there a little.
Yeah.
Because let's watch it again. Like, because I don't know this. You do. You played. It looks to me like he's got his man until at the last moment he doesn't, and that's right when the puck gets there. Like, I don't think he's lost from the get go. It looks like he's fighting the whole.
He
right
has
from the drop,
no
the puck
idea
goes
what.
on his-
Stop. Go back.
Like he stapled the puck Colson for
Go
the first
back.
10 seconds here.
Shush. Right off the drop. Okay, go all the way to the puck drop. Is that where it starts? First of all, that guy, you should be stepping in front of him. He shouldn't be getting to the front of the net. Now you're lost. You're just chasing. He has no idea where the puck is. Let it go. And you're from the drop of the puck, you've been trying to tie this guy up, and you don't accomplish it. How does he get loose?
He does the old spin.
Strong enough where I know it's a different era, but you should be able to grab onto.
It looks like everything's fine here, right? You usually say you're fine. Are they not fine right here? Like at this freeze, are they not fine right there?
Yeah. Yeah, the Eagle goes all the way back to the front of the net and doesn't know where the puck is, and he ends up being in okay shape only because the puck is brought to him, and then he still loses coverage. And Jones never once. You can have coverage defensively on a net front guy and still be scanning the ice. Say it all that you have to do that. It's not as back in the 80s or 90s. Sure, I'm just going to tie you up. I don't care where the puck is. And there was no penalties. Now it's not how it's played. You got to know what's going on behind you. These guys are just totally lost.
Teams that had a 3-0 lead after the first in a cup final were 32-0.
It was 37-0. Gross.
Now 32-1. Draisaitl, 4 overtime goals. That's a record for one postseason. He's got 2 in a cup final. That's also very
impressive.
good. He and John LeClaire and good old Don Raleigh back in 1950.
Oh, Dickie.
And the Oilers become the first road team to rally from a 3-goal deficit and win a cup final game since Montreal did it in 1919.
That was a while ago. Was that even the Canadian, or was it the?
It was the Canadians.
It
was the Seattle Metropolitans.
Right.
They, couldn't hold a lead either.
They were brutal at that.
Yeah, really couldn't do it. So Pickard starts.
Oh,
pretty clear.
Dude, if Skinner gets on the ice again, he's going out to celebrate. Like, I'm sorry, the one guy has not lost a game. And I said yesterday, like, look, I don't think it's crazy to start Pickard here. He's been very good. And I don't think he's a good goalie, but he is feeling it right now. It has been a 6-month period, 3-month period, whatever it is, where he's been as good as Cal Pickard's ever looked.
If you're the Florida Panthers, you had best pray Calvin Pickard's in net and that Calvin Pickard returns to form.
Yeah, the guy that goes on waivers every other year, Calvin Pickard. That guy hasn't shown up this year.
You know what it is, too?
Not Calvin Pickard's going to be the guy raising the cup above his head. Calvin, nobody wants me, Pickard.
Right. Street hockey, Calvin Pickard, who's honestly playing his ass off.
He is playing his ass off.
Not a shot at him. He is battling. And the team is playing better in front of him because they don't trust him.
They really do.
Yes.
They like this guy.
They play better in front of him.
They like playing in front of him.
And Skinner, when he is right, he looks so good. But there are moments where he's just, not even moments, stretches where he just looks below replacement level. Like, you wonder how he's in the league sometimes, and other times you're like, holy fuck, they can win a cup with this guy.
Well, Pickard can
You never know what you're getting with Skinner. You know exactly what you're getting with Pickard.
Do you know exactly what you're getting with Pickard?
Well, he doesn't lose. He's going to battle his ass off, and there's not a lot of stinkers.
It feels like there's a bit of a pumpkin at midnight kind of a thing.
Yes.
And look, if you're trying to put some wind in the sails of Florida not being dead, you need Bob to outplay Cal Pickard the next 3 games.
That's part of it.
Right?
It is part of it.
Like, they are going to try to win a cup with Skinner and Pickard, and they've got 2 of the best players on planet Earth, and it kills us, but they're a very good team. They played well structurally, defensively, most of the playoffs, aside from early in LA in game 3 against Florida and first period last night. But you still have a distinct edge in net if you're Florida.
You've done a great job with Evan Bouchard, Rhett.
You really turned him around.
You've really done a great job. 30 minutes, 38 seconds, no points. But you know what? And it pains you to do it. You just put your ISO cam on him in a game. He's become very effective, good player for them.
So by effective, you mean like a point and a half per game in the playoffs?
I don't worry about points.
Shit.
Because again, no points last night.
So here's the stipulation with you just said it. There's still the pumpkin at midnight scenario. There's a lot of pumpkin at midnight with the Oilers, I think, and Bouchard being one, Darnell Nurse being one, Troy Stecher. Troy Stecher, what about Klingberg?
Yeah, midnight for that was 1918 of the first period.
Right,
exactly. So yes, there's been some. Me and the Bush, we're old pals. I still feel like he makes as many mistakes as he makes good plays.
How many times do you watch a power play where you're like, that's got to get out? And you're like, fuck, Bouchard held it again at
the
all
night.
Their power play hasn't been good in this series, but it's threatened the entire series.
Well, when you get a team,
chances, they swarm. You can't get it out on them unless you get a really clean clearance.
How many times has Florida had to kill a full 2 minutes in their own zone? They can't get it out.
And it's like, oh, you're going to leave McDavid out for the full 2. Great idea. Fuck. Like, you got gifted this fucking demigod. Yeah, just 2 minutes. He'll do the whole power play. We're good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And there were a couple. Remember that one power play last night where Leon tries to carry it in. They poke it down. All right, regroup, comes back. Leon tries the same thing again. Poke it. Connor's like, just
give it to me. I'm the zone entry.
Give it to me. I'll get it in there, and then we'll go to work. You go stand on the other side, and you're off wing, and they'll probably come to you, and you'll score. Can we look at the
Bouchard hit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to see this.
I was kind of, if anything, it's like, well, is it a penalty? I'm surprised. Where's the eye in the sky? Are they not taking this guy to the room for concussion protocol and play on? Craig Simpson really thought it was a penalty, though. I don't know if you were watching the CBC.
Was he a former Panther?
Yeah.
I didn't have to suffer through the CBC broadcast.
That's right. Yeah, I guess it's Sportsnet or whoever.
Were you watching Max or True?
And you know, the one fly in the ointment to our tone today, Rhett, is if the Sam Bennett shot, if old Cal doesn't get a piece and it goes in, if it's a little bit higher,
1 inch,
then it's into the back of the net. This is
but you could say the 1 inch, the save by Bobrovsky on Perry.
The 3 lucky bounces.
I know.
Yeah,
look at this. Just
and then tink,
ding ding.
4 games, 3 overtimes, 1 blowout.
And
this thing can go 7 and be one of the best finals, or at least captivating, because this is not boring hockey.
I think for the casual observer, this might be the most entertaining final we've seen in 10 years. I'm trying to think of one better. Vancouver-Boston had all kinds of drama. That was phenomenal in 2011. I don't recall the St. Louis-Boston one as well, but that had a dramatic finish with Binnington winning on the road in Game 7. Back and forth it went. The Tampa wins were pretty boring. They dominated Montreal and Dallas. 9
goals. Everything's been over. It's been back and forth, blown leads. It's been
the lowest
crazy.
Scoring game was 6-1.
Yeah. That the blowout was the nail biter. Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't
not like it.
And you add in like the physicality of Game 3, like for a casual observer, like this is a hell of a product you're putting out there. Like even the one game that was a blowout you couldn't turn off because it turned into SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Jack doesn't like it either. He just groaned. I don't know if you heard that, Rhett.
Okay, we got to do a quick because we're gonna have Dregs coming up here, right?
Dregs half past. Yeah, let's get
a Pinder Report.
Yeah, we'll rip through.
I'll do it.
Yep.
Probably enough negativity for a little bit. Rhett, are you good for now? Do you want to bleat?
Get wrecked.
Do you quit?
Did you drink all of the beer in Buffalo last night?
I didn't have one drink yesterday. I'm distraught. Brian, I'm distraught.
Yeah. Let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. They want to buy your pre-owned vehicle. Maybe not even in your headspace at all. What are you talking about? Well, they want to have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the city. They're dedicated and putting money where their mouth is. Appraisals are free, no obligation. You'll receive payment in 24 hours if you get a deal done. That's what they're doing. It's Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. Dealership for life.
Maybe you're pacing around the house today. You're just having an awful day because of whatever happened last night. You know what, honey? I'm just going to go sell a car. I need to get my mind off this thing. I'm going up to the dealership for life.
I'm doing it.
Village Honda. I got to talk to someone about like cylinders and wheels and resale. But I can't do this anymore. Let's go to FlamesNation.ca, see what the writers are writing about. We are exactly 2 weeks away from day one of the NHL draft. Crazy. 4 center options for the Flames at 18. Pike's landed out. A lot of centers in this draft. Junior centers, though. I don't know how many will stick at center at the NHL level. Pike's got more. FlamesNation.ca. We are exactly 2 weeks from round 1, which is wild. It feels like, that's in the middle of summer, the draft. We're almost there, fellas. We're almost there. It is coming quickly. To the game last night, it was one for the ages, no question. Dramatic, huge leads erased. And here's Thomas Drance of The Athletic. The Oilers could not possibly have looked more dead in the water after 20. This series is an epic. Best hockey we've seen in the Cap era. It stings in Calgary, but this has not been boring. The Oilers come back. You noted it. Team's up 3-0. They just don't really come back. When trailing 3-0 over the first, 37-0 was the old mark. Now 37-1.
Right.
Yeah, I know. No good. And of course, it was Leon Draisaitl with one hand on his stick, shoveling it towards the net, off a leg and in, because they have all the feels of the team of destiny. Gross. Back to the cultural capital for a Saturday night hockey night in Canada.
Yeah.
I'll be at George Strait, Dean.
That's a good place for you, Rhett.
It's a safe space. I'm done.
Turn off your phone after you get Jack the Straight t-shirt. Jack, be by your phone. It's not Rhett's Fashion Week.
They're going to sell 9 million beer at the rink on Saturday.
Yes. There's no question about that. I'm afraid to look at what ticket prices were if I were an Oilers fan. But, that's going to be a scene. Saturday night in Mudsville, the Hippo Tank. Oof. Cal Pickard hasn't lost yet. I wonder who they're going to start, Rhett. Who would you start?
Well, let's Grant Fuhr or Calvin Pickard. I'm not sure which one.
I'll take either. Grant's probably busy doing golf stuff in Palm Springs. Although it's hot there. He might be up north.
Too hot.
It's probably back up north. Leon, all he does is score overtime goals. Skinner 7-6.
Can I ask you a question? What is wrong with you today?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the only one not negative Nelly. What's wrong with me?
You're a little scattered.
Look at all this BS that you're
He was out last night.
I was in bed at a reasonable hour.
I don't care. I'm just disappointed in your approach to the whole process, the things that we hold dear and true to our hearts. And this is what you got, the Frank Saravalli up there promoting how great Cal Pickard is.
Let's keep moving.
F is in your head.
We're telling the story of the game. Let's
next, get this off, Jack.
Next.
Jack, you're an ass too for doing
this,
off.
Jack. Next.
Who cares?
Hart and Vezina. Nothing's going to work for Red at this point. All-Star team 1. Let's keep it rolling. Come on.
Do you have anything about Calvin Pickard?
Kyle Connor, Nathan McKinnon. Okay, these are good players. Good year. Congrats. None of you are playing anymore. Next. Oh, the guy up for MVP made the second All-Star team. That's odd.
So McDavid's not an All-Star?
Guess not. Maybe just try a little harder next year, Connor.
Stop with these awards.
And the all-rookie team, there's Dustin Wolf. Really happy for Denton Matachuk, aren't you? Just
good guy,
about him today.
Yeah, he's from Dauphin. Good Ukrainian boy.
Golf, Rhett. This will get your mind off the nonsense. This is noted cheater, ball mover, and live money taker, Patrick Reed, excuse me.
What?
Here we are. He's got a nice tan going. Jesus, Pat. Mix in some SPF. 264 out, par 5. Oh, sorry, 286 out.
86 yards away.
So that's a good shot, right? What the fuck?
Oh,
so Jack was asking before the show, like there's par, there's birdie, there's eagle. What did you ask me before the show?
What's an albatross?
It's a hole-in-one on a par 4 or a 2 on a par 5, and that's gross. Hell of a shot. Hardly can see the guy. I just see a floating head and arms, though.
It's like Principe.
Good things happening to good people.
That's right.
And you love to see it.
If you're not trying, if you're not cheating, especially in golf, right, Patrick? We'll get to local sports quickly. The Stampeders are on the road this weekend. They take on Toronto.
Did you know that they're the defending champs?
They always show up in the final
I had no
crazily
idea.
and win.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't watch the Grey Cup, I guess.
Stampeders.
Stamps, let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Good start. Big play VA. 2:00 tomorrow. And then they come home for the family day game. We are giving away some swag for that one. It is Saturday, 2 p.m. start. Oh, Jack, bring your kids, would you? Jack?
You should go to that one.
It's family.
Well, I don't have kids, but you can bring me.
Better get on that. Next weekend.
You can bring me. So sweet.
You're like my older brother. Your chance to win this and 2 tickets in the 11th row at the 45-yard line. Watch our socials. Look at the Stampeders gear.
That's a nice football.
Football's ours. It's staying here. That's just a prop. But
Oh.
You're going to get 2 T-shirts, 2 hats. Maybe you take your dad. Happy Father's Day.
It's weird that
Watch our socials.
pick for the giveaway.
And the seats, Jack, how good are the seats?
Unreal. Midfield, couple rows down.
11th row.
Couple rows
Couple
down.
rows down.
Couple rows down from row 13.
where you wanna be.
Nailed it. Cavalry FC's in action. They're in Halifax this weekend. Let's go, fellas. Come on, Tommy. We need you at the top of the table. They're currently second in the CPL.
It's a good haircut.
Nope. Let's keep moving. And the Surge are in action. 2:00. Our pal Jay from the draft, who only drafted Oilers and is going to win the playoff pool.
Oh, jeez.
He's going to be at the pay bill table.
Is he really?
Yeah. He doesn't like that Scarborough Shooting Stars logo either, Rhett, though.
Hates it. Yeah,
Loves the
terrible.
Surge gear. Loves Rugsy 00.
Kind of forgot about that.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
That's we got to remind him of that when he wins the
right.
$3,000 prize. It's for the kids. You ever seen this guy pitch with both arms, Rhett? It's pretty impressive.
At the same time?
Well, you're not allowed to do that because you can't throw 2 balls at the. So this is Yorangelos is Yergetente.
For the Mariners, his bounding ball up the middle.
Throws 92 with the left hand. That's pretty good.
In time to get the out.
So now he's going to switch, and he's going to, for those that are listening on radio as we're talking, that was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball left-handed, and now he's going to pitch to Ralphie Velasquez, who is left-handed, right-handed.
Interesting.
I was going to throw this right.
I have never seen anybody
That's
like this before.
I mean, I don't think anybody has. Here comes the pitch.
Bink.
Swung on foul
95.
back. I mean, Vendetti.
I'd like to do one thing with one hand nearly as good as he can do with his bad hand. Holy
What?
crap.
What does he have a fancy glove?
Yeah, you can swap it over. The Jays and A's famously had Pat Vendetti, I believe was his name. He was an amphibious pitcher as well, right?
Yeah.
He could breathe underwater and throw with both hands.
It's quite a feat to be able
Yeah.
to do this.
He has skills. Finally, you ever been out on a boat when you saw a bear swimming with a jug on its head?
Fishing at. Get closer. You got to get up there closer.
This poor bear
Poor guy. He
was
just wanted
in-
some honey.
He was doing the old Pooh Bear head stuck in the honey jar.
Got a bear here.
Bees
Poor
buzzing.
thing's got a tub on its head. Oh, he's getting scared.
Oh, why do you
Oh,
think?
come on, bud.
Can't see
Trying
shit.
to figure out
got
how we're gonna
water
get
in the
this tub
jar?
off his head.
Try not to die here.
Go a little faster, Brady. You got to get in front of him.
They saved this bear.
See, here's the thing. You don't want to get it close to a bear except you see him so vulnerable like this.
pretty
Come on,
small.
buddy.
She should try talking to him. I just want to help.
Oh.
Come on, honey. Turn it around. Turn the boat around.
Got to jump in there.
Just
That'd
a
be real
baby
nice. He
bear
doesn't have any
here.
big claws
Yeah.
or anything. Yeah. It's like when you're swimming with your dog, he just pawing you to death. Ah,
I have
circle
been
around,
in northern
circle
Sask,
around,
which
yeah.
this appears
Back
to
on
be
the other side of him.
where they are, and seen bears swimming across the lake, but never
Yeah.
with a.
the honey pot on their head. Now, come on. We got to save this bear. It's not that big and scary. Sleeve monster got that guy. That's too bad.
Quick.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Yeah. We saved the bear. God bless you, bears and bear savers. That's how you end the Pinder Report on a Friday.
Very nice. Village Honda. They love bears.
The best
They
thing
love all
we've ever
animals.
shown on this report.
You like that? I was worried you'd hate
Oh,
it.
I liked
Okay.
it a lot. It's very nice.
Saving bears with honey pots on their head. That's Village Honda for you.
The CRV hybrid touring model, tops in its class, Econ mode, Eco Assist, real-time all-wheel drive, and you can take your pick of the litter up there. What color do you like? That's how it goes. Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, online at villagehonda.com. As we go to the Insider Hotline, a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. We had that, was it yesterday? Or 2 days ago? The guy had Crystal Waters.
Super chat.
I can only assume that that family is enjoying life with their new air conditioner. Right now, 10% off a new air conditioner and receive 1 year of free preventative maintenance with Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. Your crystal clear choice for home comfort, 403-219-4100. Check them out at crystalclearcalgary.com. TSN Hockey Insider. And our buddy, Darren Dreger joins us. Hello, Dregs.
Guys, how are we? Everybody good?
No.
Well, depressed. Very depressed. It's
Dregs,
not good.
these two, the series is over. Give the cup away. Don't even turn on your TV on Saturday. It's over. The fellas in the dark closed today. That's
you can watch it, but it's over.
Interesting. In favor of the oil, we think, do we?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, the way I described or tried to last night, I mean, it was a combination of bit shock and awe, right? So the awe comes in the fact that, Knobloch can make the decisions that he makes. He puts Pickard in for the second, not earth-shattering or shocking. Decent goaltender historically in terms of his postseason numbers this year. The shocking part was the fact that the Florida Panthers gagged on a 3-goal lead. I mean, that's the shocking part. So when you talk about planting seeds of doubt and all of that, yeah, I get it. I mean, the big boys for the Oilers found a way. Likewise for the Florida Panthers. So aside from me still wanting to give Sergei Bobrovsky, deservedly so, the edge, and they got to him. They got to him in Game 4. But I'm talking about a best of 3 scenario here. I still think it's pretty even. I do, and I am interested to see how the Florida Panthers respond in Game 5.
Is there going to be a scene in sport crazier than what we're going to see at the Hippo Tank tomorrow night in Edmonton?
Probably not.
See how I sucked him in? No, he's complicit.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. What do you expect we'll see?
What do you
Saturday
think?
night. They have nothing to do in Edmonton but cheer for this stupid team in orange and blue.
Well,
it's going to be bonkers.
Let's go back to last night before we. I mean, Brett and I came on, and we were done with the pet. It's uncharacteristic of a team of any kind, especially after Game 3. The Oilers were left laying on the mat, and then they're down 3-0 in the first, and the goalie gets pulled.
Yeah. 9-1 run.
This felt like, here it is. You're going to win this game. You're up 3-1. Maybe the Oilers win in front of their fan, but this thing is done.
Yeah.
You won 3 in a row last year. You're not doing it again. It was over. Just everything we credit the Florida Panthers for being as a hockey team, plus cerebrally, veterans and this band of brothers. It was an epic collapse. If it was the other way around, we'd crush any team, let alone one that's a defending cup champ and being applauded for their chemistry and mental makeup. It was you said gag.
And they did the same thing in Game 1.
Yeah. You know what? You're not wrong, and maybe it's the respect level of a defending Stanley Cup champion. I got all the time in the world for Barkov. I recognize that he's right there with the best defensive forwards in the game. It's not enough. Like, if that's McDavid doing what Barkov is doing, or Draisaitl, or pick an Oiler who you need to find a way to push through, I mean, be heavily scrutinized. And I don't get that level. I don't see it. I don't read it. I don't hear it directed at Barkov. He's a good player, but good isn't good enough given what they're dealing with. And Paul Maurice sort of tiptoed around it, but he kind of served it up to the media, and it wasn't a primary talking point. That was Sam Bennett penalty. He takes the slash on Bouchard, and that lit the fuse for Edmonton. Right now, Nuge scores on the power play. Again, it's a 3-1 lead in favor of Florida. That still should be enough to motivate you to get the fourth one and just put them away. Instead, Darnell Nurse, who's been taking ill-timed penalties and a bit sloppy, frankly, comes out of his coma and scores a beauty, and then finds a way to set up Podkolzin. And now you've got a hockey game and a complete comeback. So it was shocking to see what Florida didn't do and how they absolutely allowed the Oilers to jump off the mat. Because going into the game, I actually thought, because people were talking about this, there's opportunity for Edmonton to relive what they did last year, right? They're down 3-0. Look at what they did. They came back, they forced game 7. Sure, I get that. But do we not think the Florida Panthers also learned the valuable lessons that went into what they did a year ago in allowing Edmonton to do what they did? And then you see last night and go, maybe not. So let's see what happens in game 5.
Yeah,
Oilers play better in front of Pickard than Skinner.
Well, it almost seems a little bit like that. It does. So
I think they do, because I don't think they trust Skinner as much. Well, and I'm not talking about I think they probably like both guys equally, but I think that maybe there's a little more or lack of confidence in what Pickard can provide you. So we're going to tighten it up for you in front of you.
You used to say that about Noodles, right?
Yeah, and look, I work closely with Noodles, Marty Baron, the goalie fraternity, that so many of them are analysts, and they do want to defend. They're not afraid to call out bad goaltending. Don't get me wrong, but I think when you get to the Stanley Cup final, the line is so fine that even a goal like the one Kachuk's first on the power play, all right, it's a 5-on-3, right? He's screened, he can't see, but it beats him short side again. And so that line is so thin that the coaching staff is probably, because I know that they had considerable debate going into game 4 whether or not they should start Pickard in game 4. And the reason was they were out chancing Florida, I think almost 2-1 on power play chances. Yet Bob would find a way. Like, he'd find a way to make that save, and Skinner would make a couple of saves. He was good, and then all of a sudden one would go by him. And in a regular season game, okay, you're not beating them over the head with it because it's a power play goal or whatever. There are scenarios that feed into it. But this time of year when the line is so thin, you need your goalie to stand on his lid. And Stu Skinner was average, but was he above average? And I don't think he was above average. He wasn't. But that, for me, is still the takeaway and the biggest challenge moving into this best of 3. Because, that was an off night by Bobrovsky's standards. Second half of that game was an off game for him. So I still think that he's in a class of his own here. I mean, if it's Cal Pickard, Stu Skinner, they're still the second best goalie for this best of 3 moving forward until they prove that they can be equally as good. And maybe that comes in how they play in front of Cal Pickard, because it wasn't just the Corey Perry speech that motivated that group going into the second period. There was a spark that's undeniable that was provided when they made the goalie change.
Yeah.
Hasn't lost. Tough to argue.
And what the thing of it is maybe like we were saying, maybe he does strikes midnight, he turns into a pumpkin, but that's a high pressure spot to be put in. And he did it a year ago and he's done it here again. And I don't know how long it's sustainable, but he doesn't seem to crumble under key moments. He stepped up, made some big saves, obviously getting a piece of that Bennett shot in overtime.
Yeah.
I saw you guys talking about it on the Ray and Dregs podcast, and I end up calling him Chuck every once in a while, but Chris Knobloch. Now, the Klingberg for Stecher thing maybe didn't work out as well, but he's made the goalie move. They had 2 days off. They practiced both days. Just talking to people who cover the team, is Knobloch, and it's probably not a shock. He's a calming presence. He's when things ratchet up and things get to, this is a guy who's we're good. It's
his complexion doesn't change a lot behind the bench, does it?
And boy, that sure feels like it would have been a valuable asset to have after game 3 and certainly after the first period.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're going to, with all those penalties in the first, we're going to get one here. Let's score on that and we'll start chipping away. We got 2 periods. It just feels like he's the right guy to have in these high pressure spots.
I agree with that. And I think he does a good job of using his assistant coaches on the bench as well. Coffee, you've got the defense. I'm not going to worry about what's going on over there. You deal with that. Now, of course, it's going to have influence. And if he wants a certain pairing or an individual out there, Stecher made that blunder that led to the Anton Lundell goal to make it 3-0. And he basically was stapled after that, right? I think he played 4 minutes and 18 seconds, which is also a storyline we've got to watch here in the next 3 games, right? I mean, does Klingberg draw back in? They felt comfortable with Stecher until they were uncomfortable with Troy Stecher last night. But that's a lot, because I'm reminded of that Paul Maurice speech on the bench, right? Pound their D's so that in game 7, they don't have anything left. Well, that's going to be the approach of the Florida Panthers. Now you look at some of the other lineup adjustments, and he brings Jeff Skinner in, hoping for just a pop of offense. And he had some chances, he had a bit of a mini breakaway there. He wasn't able to push it through, but he had some chances. And I know that there was a fair bit of discussion among that coaching staff. Okay, if we agree that we want to put Skinner into play here, who's coming out? Arvidsson provides some physicality, but he's small. And then you've got Podkolzin and you've got Trent Frederick. And I think ultimately the decision was made, well, let's just swap a small guy for a small guy. And we do get perhaps a little bit more offense out of Jeff Skinner. And by not overthinking it, Podkolzin has a terrific hockey game with a goal and assist. Trent Frederick is still kind of finding his way for me, but he almost scores in overtime, and I can understand why you put Connor Brown on that top line and you move Corey Perry down. But the one thing that I like most about Chris Knoblauch, he reminds me a little bit of Jim Montgomery, at least Jim Montgomery in Boston, because he would start the game, his lines would be set. Well, within 5 minutes of puck drop, I mean, he's got the blender out, and that doesn't look very good. So I'm going to try this over here. Like, Knoblauch is not afraid to make multiple in-game adjustments. He's definitely got a good feel at this stage. There's no doubt about that.
Is Ty Emberson an option, or have they completely said you're in your off season now? He hasn't played over 10 minutes since the LA series, and he hasn't touched the ice since game 3 against Vegas.
Yeah, that feels like it might be a stretch for me, but I can't rule that possibility out. Was John Klingberg that bad? Or for that matter, Troy Stecher. So Stecher, makes the play below the goal line. He just gets beat by Carter Verhaeghe. All right. I mean, that happens. Unfortunately for him, it ends up with a puck going into the net. But there's a trust issue that is instantly brought into play, and it was obvious just based on his time on ice. What you need is 10, 12 minutes out of a guy to just take some of the heat off the rest of your group. Just give that group a bit of a reprieve. And maybe John Klingberg, a veteran defenseman, got that message and can quickly hit that reset. I haven't heard out of Edmonton yet what their plan is for tomorrow, and probably won't until tomorrow morning. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw Klingberg back into the mix, but you know what? Like, Stetcher's a popular guy. He's a popular guy. And I was more surprised that he didn't get another opportunity after that, but there's so much on the line. I guess they felt like in that comeback environment, they needed to keep the bench short and everybody playing tight.
I wonder how much of it too is he almost quit playing on that play where he takes he grabs his mouth. Yeah. He didn't get hit in the mouth. He got hit with the stick, and he's got one hand on his stick, and then they score. I wonder how much of that is almost kind of the body language and how he handled that. And
probably
if it's Coffee making the calls back there, he'd be like, "You sit."
Because it kind of felt like the Marchand play with Kane, where he feels the stick and sells it. Like, we're going to get the power play. That was early in game 3, and that was part of the Kane's mental meltdown in the first, where he takes 2 ozone penalties or whatever. It felt like a very similar play. I would understand Stecher thinking, I'm going to get us a power play here.
Yeah, and it was a missed call. It was a miss. There were that, based on how they were calling it to that point, that was a missed high stick. It was. And speaking of that,
it's kind of part of how they, if you want to look at it like sucking it up and, don't be crying. In game 3, you weren't getting calls. You started crying. You took penalties, this sort of thing. You get into game 4, Kane penalty, Nurse penalty, Ekholm high sticking. They were penalties. And then there you don't get the call.
Yeah.
It could have been very easy to fall down that into the black hole of we're doomed. We're not the refs are out to get us. This team is beating us. It was really quite and it's probably being a little over dramatic, but I was impressed that in years past, this would have been very characteristic of the Oilers to fall apart.
Agreed.
They got good players, but they don't have, they came together. And is it the Corey Perry speech? Is it the calm coach? Is it the goalie swap? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's, if this does end up being an Oiler Cup win, this is a game they'll talk about forever.
Well, and look, guys, it is about accountability as well, right? Darnell takes that tough penalty, the tripping penalty in the first period. Now it's a 5-on-3, and Tkachuk scores. They didn't have the luxury of parking Darnell Nurse for an extended period of time. I mean, what's that going to do? And, he self-corrected and had a heck of a second period, obviously. But look what they did with Evander Kane. He takes that high sticking penalty, and what did he go? Like 7-8 minutes, without a shift, which in game 4 of the Stanley Cup final, with Zach Hyman unavailable and a player who physically, can be a difference maker in the series, that's a decision. That's a decision. So give Knobloch and the coaching staff more credit for that, because they need Evander Kane to keep it between the lines, be the player that he is. Don't go chasing hits, but he's quick. So get there on the forecheck. Don't be afraid to do the hard flybys. Just drift through the sight lines of Sergei Bobrovsky whenever you can. Play that type of a game, and you're going to make a difference. So Evander Kane is going to have to hit a bit of a reset button. And if he does, the horses are there. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is I wonder how much of that permeates across that bench, right? Where the other players are like, okay, yeah. I mean, we can't take any more ridiculous high sticking penalties.
Yeah.
So
if there's a penalty in the first period in Florida, like in 3 days, that's
can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. So it's a hell of a series, fellas. Like
I was saying, you got 3 games. 3 games have gone to overtime. One's been a blowout. If you're not invested with one of your favorite, it's been great.
How could you turn this off at any point?
It's been crazy.
It's either 1-goal games or SummerSlam.
I'm watching that game, and as it was developing, through that second period, third period, and then obviously in overtime, and I'm thinking back to the games, in 2000-ish, like that era of dead puck, where if somebody got a 2-1 lead or a 3-1 lead, it's over. Like, you remember the old Devils hockey, right? Like it was just game, set, and match. And if something happened that shifted that game, both coaches would come to the podium after the game, and they were just furious that there were defensive mistakes made. It wasn't dump and chase the way that you need to, the left wing lock, all of the nonsense that we used to see. Now you've got those coaches coming out of that game last night, and they're borderline exhausted. Like Knobloch, basically, well, you just said it's stressful. Like, I mean, of course, it's fun because you're in it, but it's the Stanley Cup final, and the mistakes are magnified. Every decision is magnified and all of that. But in terms of selling the hockey worldwide, globally, if you're a fringe fan, I mean, you're tuning into that. I mean, you've got Travis Kelce, you've got Taylor Swift in the house. Like, come on. Doesn't get any better.
Got it all. Gary's just pumped.
Is that the only thing Taylor's touched that hasn't turned to gold? She was wearing red and they didn't
I
win
know,
last
she was
night?
very happy.
Travis had the shorts on a little snug last night.
Well,
you notice that?
That's how the Taylor and the Swifties like
Settle.
it. Short shorts.
Easy. Paul Maurice looked exhausted last night. He was kind of talking about how it's exciting and this is what it's all about. This whole thing. I wonder what's going through his brain. There's the Oilers and the changes that they've made. I wonder what's at his disposal. There's you can change line combos, but I was surprised. We showed the Wallman goal where Barkov turns it over and Reinhardt's laying in behind the net and slow to get up. And we know that Tkachuk
leaves the net.
Man, Tkachuk he's barely hanging on. He gets those 2 goals, but he is not close to being right. I wonder, you want to try and settle your group? There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. But I do wonder if there's some moves or changes to be made in that Florida side.
Well, he says he's going with the same lineup, but you're right. I mean, he can mix his lines and try different combinations and do everything that he's going to try and do to win this game and win that series. But there are some red flags, and I'm not here to beat up on Barkov. I'm not, but he hasn't been as good as he needs to be. Collectively, he hasn't been as good. That Bennett penalty. I mean, that's a penalty that Sam Bennett doesn't take. He just doesn't take. So it's a mistake. So, but you look at the game sheet and you see Reinhardt and who else? Kachuk with a couple. Like all the principal pieces, minus Barkov for the most part, are there, right? But are you worried? Yeah. Anytime you can't lock down a 3-0 lead, you're worried. And you know what? Even though let's give credit to Darnell Nurse for putting that puck where he did on that goal that he scored, Bob can't let that in. He can't let that in.
Like Arvidsson in game 1. This thing could be over. It's crazy.
And
there's 2 goals that are huge.
Yeah. And now, the scouting report on Bobrovsky after 4 games of this series is, keep it up near his ears. That's he doesn't like it up there. So, let's see how it all unfolds. So I guess what I'm saying is we use that cliche as the seed of doubt been planted. Yeah, for sure it has been, for sure. But a lot of it, Maurice says, I think they're flying now or about to. He's going to spend his flight time, poring over the game tape. He'll come up with something. That's what this guy is masterful at. And maybe it'll be just words, but there's not a lot of teaching or coaching required for that group because they've been there and they've done that.
Are you traveling?
I am. I have a 6:55 p.m. Eastern flight to Edmonton. So what does that get me? That gets me into Edmonton about 9 o'clock local time. Could probably squeeze in 9 holes. Sun never goes down this time of year.
Yeah.
So
keep your dukes up though, eh?
Yeah.
Do you have a passes to get into the Hippo tank, or
you get one of those annual zoo passes? How does it work?
No, I've heard this before, but I'm not even entirely sure what you guys are talking about, and I'm afraid to go deep and check.
Yeah, I don't think you have to go that deep, but
no.
Goes back. Yeah, Pinder will gladly let you know.
My pleasure.
He'll bring.
Was Noodles there last night? He was with his mom for a bit before. I don't think he's not taking his mom there. Is that a place that you wouldn't take a parent?
Well, I don't know.
He was worried more about his caramel marshmallow squares that his mom makes and make sure they're fresh, not stale.
Yeah, he was showing us his peanut butter marshmallow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't tell her that I was coming until because you don't want her to go to all that trouble of baking you goodies. He's like, no, I just need it to be fresh for when I get there.
I told her we should stale. Yeah.
He brought a slab of that peanut butter peanut butter marshmallow mess the other day in the studio, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what it looks like, but for me, no fruit on pizza. And growing up in the West, every event I'd go to, there'd be a jelly salad. Like, I don't need a jelly salad. Like, what are we doing here? If I want Jell-O for dessert, I'll get Jell-O. I don't need it to have little pieces of other fruits or worse, vegetables as a side dish. And every Western Canadian event had some sort of marshmallow cake. No,
you would have a bowl of Jell-O, but there'd be some shredded something in there. It's like, did that fall in there by accident? You didn't, because you couldn't have put that in there on purpose.
Yeah.
And then marshmallows for sure were in everything.
Yeah. It's like whose idea was it way back in the day to hide dimes in your birthday cake?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, until 10 8-year-olds died because they choked on a coin, and then we decided as a society we can't do that anymore.
We thought pennies would just go right through the kid. Apparently got stuck in there. He got $1.30 and change in his lower intestine.
Can't get through security.
Safe travels, Dregs. We love you. Be good.
Be safe.
All right, boys. So, we'll see what happens next Friday, but one way or another, we'll know what happens. And you guys might be down and out by then. Eh? You'll be planning the Alberta funeral.
Podcast, Dregs. It's been fun, and we'll let you know what our next endeavor is.
We'll let you know.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
See ya. There he is, Darren Dreger, joining us on the Insider Hotline presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. CrystalClearCalgary.com.
Wasn't up to speed on the Hippo tank, or is he playing dumb? playing coy?
I think it's maybe a bit of both. I think he's probably got a rough idea.
I'd be happy to pass that along.
Yeah, he's got a rough idea of what's going on. So what's up for the weekend? What are we doing?
Kid baseball playoffs. Boys staving last night in the rain. Good on them. Luckily down at the Stanley Park Diamond tomorrow,
Right.
which is just an absolute treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess we got to make room for some zoo time Saturday night for game number 5.
Right. Jack walks in this morning. Well, that game sucked. Is that what you said? Something to that
Yeah.
effect?
Yeah, no one brought it up yet, and
No, you were here a little later. We'd gone through
First
that.
period was
no.
awesome.
then
The
it
kids stormed upstairs. He's like, what happened?
There's a lot of what happened.
What do you mean? Well, I watched the first period and then we went to watch a movie.
So I was
Yeah.
at a 50th birthday party last night, and a lot of people had left at the intermission. And the game, of course, is on every screen at said venue. And everyone was like, yeah, when I left, it was like, what did they, how? Yeah, they did it again.
Yeah.
Did it again.
They did it again. What's happening there? Yeah, we Rhett just,
Oh, he's good.
yeah, he just decided to
having a
leave.
day.
I'm just going
To be fair, it gave us some good content early.
Yeah.
It was kind of a Floridian effort. He was really good early, and then he just kind of shut it down.
Yeah, just really
midway
good.
through. Yeah.
Really just expected that
He's a
everything would
Panther.
just take care of itself.
Through and through.
Yeah. Any plans on? I'm just thinking about Greta. Did we find out? How many hot dogs are left over? Did we?
I think we put a real good dent in there. I know Jack's 4 left are still there. They're holding them for him.
It was the one thing I was very curious about is what was the total of dogs? I don't know. Is there? Because I know afterwards we needed a better system because there was a bit of a trust system. How many of you had? How many of it? That sort of
Mhm.
thing. That because I'm curious. We know that Jack didn't need his allotted.
He didn't earn his
Nope.
T-shirt, Dean.
You did.
There was 11 of us, I think, maybe 12.
Did
that
Bender
earned
end
the
up going
T-shirts.
all the way?
No,
Nope.
God, no. He ordered a meal.
Yeah.
He was done with hot dogs. He's like, I can't do it. I'm done. And then like an hour later, it's like, why is he ordering a stir fry? What the hell's
Yeah.
happening here?
I'm very curious what the total number of dogs. Almost feels like we need to do it again.
I think we do.
I think you and Rhett will go, and Jack and I will host. We'll do a live stream because a lot of people were like, man, that sounded great. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
Maybe that night didn't work for you. It was a Friday.
Well, I was
Jays
out
are
of
playing
town,
some good
yeah.
baseball.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Either way.
Jack and I'll go down. We're going to finish those dogs this weekend.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, you guys going?
Playing some
Street
games?
Fighter, Mortal
Nice.
Kombat, Golden
Well,
Tee.
You know, Stamps are out of town.
Yes. Cavs out of town.
Cavs out of town.
Surge don't play till Sunday.
Hippo Tank on the big screen.
Oh, there's it's dangerous around town.
Casey will
It's a
be
lot
so
of orange
excited.
venues all of a sudden.
Tell you what, that Greta spot in Edmonton was that one night I was there. So what is going on down there? Oh, that's the Greta look. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very excited. Either way, Greta's a great place. You don't need to have 9 hot dogs or cheer for the Oilers. You're free to do whatever you
Yeah, you
like.
can have 5 and cheer for the Jays like Jack did.
They've always got something. We'll know more coming up. They got always cool stuff going with Stampede. They had that
This time of year, they open that alley too.
yeah.
It's like,
They had that Caesar, I think, last year. That was like a fish bowl with it's just full of stuff.
do a 199 with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Good old Greta. See if there's some extra hot dogs kicking around. Just slide by. Never know. Let's take a look at our bets of the day. Bet365. You want to get into the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365? They got you. Game props, player props, totals, money line, even the Stanley Cup champion. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app. Get into the game. Official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older.
All right, Jays back in action tonight. They had an off day yesterday, 2 off days in the last week. Kevin Gausman on the mound. Phillies are good. Yeah, they are. Both teams good, apparently. Springer and Kirkman red hot. We saw George went 5 games in a row with at least a multi-base hit. We're going to keep riding. Georgie boy, who has found the fountain of youth this year after looking like a corpse last year. And Alejandro Kirk's having an all-star season, not just defensively, offensively as well. I think he's hitting like 315. The little Tijuana fire hydrant's been great. We're going to play both those guys over 2 bases plus money. Jay's been fun.
They have they've had a nice run. There's no question.
Believe 12 of the last 14. Hottest team in baseball. And this was the most unlikable group of losers last year and a few tweaks, and they're kind of fun this year.
How about that? Alejandro. Bet365 must be 19 or older. Official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I believe we can sound the horn for the Youth Centers of Calgary. It's our super chat. As you watch live, you can make a comment, and if you attach a little donation to it, we'll put it on the show. From Shane G, $5. Pinder's hat finally fits, and what a great hat it is. I'm proud of you today. Happy Friday for the kids, and let's go Oilers. Love the show, boys.
Shane, I agree with some of that. We're glad that you love the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We don't like your all caps tone. Otherwise, good.
Yeah, it's a lot of bluster that we don't need. It's been plenty of bluster on the show already, but thank you. Mario, $20. I live in a country that has elected Trump twice. Florida blows a 3-goal lead. Jack paid $100 on purpose to see Creed.
Kind of.
Holy S, Jack. Are you kidding? The fourth seal has been broken. We're doomed, boys. Doomed.
That was the vibe of the show, Mario. You fitting right in.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we need something to turn.
We do.
We need something to turn.
Something's going to come our way. Down for a break here.
If only you'd have gone and seen Creed. Maybe that would have been the
Creed.
one thing.
Well, if it was Creed, I might have gone, actually.
Yeah, that would have helped. Would have been big.
He was gassed. He wasn't good.
Thanks, Mario. Appreciate the $20. That'll go to the Youth Centers of Calgary. David, do you keep Kane on the bench until the game settles in? Yes. You need his physicality, but he is just too wild with the stick at the start.
It's 3 penalties in the first period, the last 2 games. We'll see. That is kind of the Kane roller coaster. Good Kane, very effective. Bad Kane lives in penalty box.
I feel like if you're taking, we're sitting you down.
That's kind of what they did, right?
We are going to sit you. Get your stick in order, sir. That's what I would say.
Okay.
With maybe a curse word or two in there.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our super chats today. We'll be back Monday.
I think.
What will we know by then? We'll be so much smarter. We'll be so much smarter.
Hopefully Rhett's in a better mood. That was tough.
I don't know if
it looked like he didn't
I think he's
sleep.
traveling.
He'll be traveling Monday. He won't be here Monday.
I think that's what the plan is. He was barely here today.
Correct.
So Monday's show won't be a lot different, but we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully it looks better. God, he was rough.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It's a tough one.
Hit by a bus.
I understand. And I don't disagree. It's no bueno. That was a epic choke job. I know.
Have a weekend, would you?
We'll try.
Cheer up.
Jack, how was the show?
Good. We got one more super chat.
All right.
One more
bring it
super
in.
chat. Let's go.
R&B. This is painful. Oiler greasers need to lose the next 2. No caps required, fellas. Let's go, Panthers. There we
Stay
go.
positive, R&B.
That's the
There you are.
positivity we need. Thanks for the donation. We appreciate it. Have a weekend, buddies. See ya.